Welcome to the evening recap for Friday, December 10th. So we ended the week on a positive note with the S&P registering 7.5 points and the Dow up 40. So you can see that on Tuesday and Wednesday we had opposing tails, which means we had an inverted hammer and then we had a hammer, and then all of a sudden we broke through yesterday and then closed at the highs today. So we clearly are making new highs in the chart. And what's interesting is although the S&P is making new highs, on the Dow Jones we're still at resistance. So we haven't cleared the prior high here at 1,000 or 11,460. So that's one thing that could act as resistance for the market to turn around. But of course the S&P oftentimes is a better indicator since it covers 500 stocks and covers a wide array of sectors, whereas the Dow is only 30 stocks. Looking at the chart of the VIX, which is the volatility index, we had very strong support here at 18. So with the VIX moving lower all the way to 17, this is positive for the markets because the lower the VIX goes, then the higher the market is going to go. So looking at some stocks here that are having some bullish setups. First we have CLF. CLF was consolidating relatively nicely here and broke above 70 not too long. And since it broke 70, it had a nice little pullback and uses that prior resistance as new support, and we had a nice bounce today. So this stock looks poised to go higher, possibly up to $80 in the next few weeks. Next we have gold. This is the gold spot futures contract, and you can see after we hit our high here at 1430, we had a nice little pullback here below 1380, and today we had a little bit of an uptick. This could be a possible reversal point here in gold, so look for gold to possibly bounce higher from here on out, and possibly going back to the prior highs if not higher. Next up is DO, which is diamond offshore drilling, and you can see that we have made lows here and we're pinching into this symmetrical triangle, and what I'm going to be looking for is a pop above this descending trend line. If we do get this pop in the next couple of days, then this could be a nice little early entry for this stock to go prior highs here at 75. So that's a nice little $10 run if the market remains bullish and this stock goes along and breaks this downward trend line. Next, our good friend First Solar, ticker symbol FSLR. This is a stock we highlighted way back here when the stock was at support at 121, and since then when we got this breakout, it's gone all the way up to 140. So nice little $20 run here on First Solar. Right now we are approaching the next resistance area at 140, so right now would be probably a little bit late to get in, but if we do break 140, this could be a next move higher. If the market does turn around, then First Solar can easily come right back down to support. So keep an eye on this to see what happens. Next, we have Foster Wheeler, which is FWLT. You can see we first broke resistance here at 26, and since then we got a breakout from 26 to 29 on over a 10% rally. Then we consolidated nicely again, and then when we broke out again above 29, look at FWLT, went from 29 all the way to 34. So this is why we are looking for setups such as these breakouts to the upside, because even though a lot of times you think that the stock is too high and can't go higher, obviously in this case right here, this stock went from 23 to 33, a $10 run in less than a month and a half. Next, we have Hansen, which is Hansen Natural. They're the maker of the Monster drinks. Hansen has pulled back from 54 all the way down to 49, a 10% drop, and now we're at support here at $49. So let's take a look to see if Hansen can bounce off of here, which it did back here in November, or if it breaks, then this stock can go down if the market does decide that it wants to turn around. And then next is Hewlett Packard, HPQ. Into the Christmas holidays, if this stock breaks above this descending trend line, we have a nice symmetrical triangle. Looks like it's going to pop one way or the other. Most likely it's going to pop to the upside because that's the trend going into this symmetrical triangle. So look for Hewlett Packard to break above 43 for a long play. And then last, take a look at IBM. IBM has been a super strong stock. Look at this nice rally here. Now we're consolidating nicely at 146, which means it's building pressure. And once this pops here within the next week or so, if we get a break above resistance here at 146, look for this stock to take off and make some new highs. So those are just a few stocks on the watch list. So everybody, market continues to be strong, could have a Santa Claus rally all the way to the end of the year. So let's hang on to the sled and ride it all the way out.